Welcome to CrimeLine, your new favorite true crime channel. Before we get into this video, I want to say I'm not a legal professional. I decided to start this channel because I felt drawn to discuss certain cases. I think it's extremely crucial to keep missing person names and cases in the media. We will discuss cases, discuss timelines, evidence, etc. I encourage you to leave your thoughts in the comments below and remember to always be kind and subscribe. Speaking of, I don't know if you know, but I have a main channel where I discuss reality TV stuff, trending topics, and all that jazz. So if that's something you're interested in, I have that channel linked below. Now, let's get into today's video. Today's video is about the SUZANNE Morphew case. I will leave timestamps below in the description, so if you have already seen my first video on this, you might want to skip to the latest. I put out a video for my main channel in September of last year, and I am including that video because it gives details on the disappearance and how we got to where we are today. Here is that video. SUZANNE was reported missing on May the 10th, Mother's Day of this year, after she allegedly had went on a bike ride and did not return. SUZANNE is 49 years old, married for 26 years to Barry Morphew, and the two are parents to two daughters. The weekend of SUZANNE's alleged disappearance, the two daughters were camping out of town, and Barry had claimed he was working out of town. He actually left that morning, which we will get into. Barry told authorities that he had left his wife sleeping about 5 a.m. However, when authorities seized his truck and some other personal info, the truck showed, like the electrical and the computer parts and the GPS parts of these new vehicles, showed that Barry was in fact driving down the road at the time he said he was at home. Barry owned a landscaping business, so he was allegedly on the phone with workers and getting tools together for the job, which was in Broomfield. That was about a 3-hour drive from Barry and SUZANNE's home in Maysville. Barry was also allegedly staying at the Holiday Inn in Broomfield, and when his worker got there, he said it reeked or stank. Is actually what he said. He said it stank of chlorine, and there was wet towels everywhere, and their home also allegedly reeked of chlorine as well. An older lady had reported hearing heavy machinery equipment running around midnight on May the 9th / May the 10th on the location of one of Barry's job sites he was also working at. The FBI conducted a search at that location and dug up recently poured concrete and still have not heard what or if they found anything from that particular location. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. Or my email is in the description, so you can just click there if you prefer. Now remember, Barry said he was at the hotel room Sunday morning after he left SUZANNE sleeping about 5 a.m. His truck was driving and on the road from at least midnight till around 4 or 5. The older lady heard the equipment running at midnight, and the last time anybody else besides Barry heard from or seen SUZANNE was Saturday. Her daughters couldn't get a hold of their mom on Mother's Day, so either they called Barry or they called the neighbor Janine to see if she had seen or heard from SUZANNE. Nobody actually visually seen SUZANNE on her bike. Barry told authorities that the bike was gone, and apparently SUZANNE rode her mountain bike a lot, and the bike was later found down a ravine a very short distance from their home. Now, we do know that the crime scene investigation and the FBI and law enforcement have all been at the home on a couple of different occasions, and they've been seen carrying out evidence bags and things like that, while Barry was allegedly staying with a friend down the road, looking out the window, hoping he could see SUZANNE. Law enforcement has said very, very little, but I understand they can't share all their leads because the suspect is still at large. So you have to be very careful about the things you share with the public. Now let's go back to the hotel room and this whole job Barry was in a hurry to do in Broomfield on Sunday, on a holiday. And the contractor said they wasn't in a hurry, so why the rush? Barry's workers have been speaking out. One said when they got to the job, it appeared as if Barry worked about 30 minutes and didn't have the correct tools or materials. They also said he left in a hurry because of a quote-unquote family emergency. I've also heard Barry say he left to do something with Suzanne. I do know that Barry left behind some property insurance documents at the hotel, which was turned over to authorities. This job they were doing was a retaining wall, which appears to be by the highway and some apartments and condominiums. Keep this in mind. This is very important. I'm going to explain here in a little bit. Suzanne's brother Andy has been actively putting together resources and searching for his sister for the past 6 months. He has spent countless hours gathering volunteers, search dogs, etc. The dogs have hit on 3 different spots around Barry's properties. So the FBI moved in and started searching and digging. It's still unclear to me what, if anything, was found, and if you know, please let me know in the comments or click the description and email me. I do want to note that Barry has not helped his brother-in-law search for his missing wife at all. He hasn't done interviews. He did, however, upload his own recorded plea to Suzanne's alleged abductors and offered a reward. Barry did sit down with someone from CBS but did not want to be on camera. On October 5th, Barry placed their Colorado home up for sale. He claims it's too hard for his girls and said they are renting a place nearby. I do want to note that law enforcement, crime scene investigation, FBI, everybody went there twice and searched the home and carried out evidence, but we don't know what that was. Now, of course, in cases like this, you have different theories and speculations. I have heard a few different ones, but when I stumbled across this lady who has visions of the exact location missing people are, I admit I got sucked in to her little theory or vision. Let me just go over that with you. Now, I'm just going to go over some of the things the lady was seeing. She said 3 hours away from their house in Maysville, Broomfield area, there's a retaining wall, houses behind her, townhomes or apartments. There's gates, appears to be underground, about 6 to 10 foot, next to pipes with leaking water, pond to the left, farm and ranch to the right with horses, tractor, hay, etc. She said there appears to be some sort of coupe, and she sees a 4-door white car, like a sedan, parked facing her over the wall, and there's a park with benches, ducks, and yellow flowers. Now, I done some looking. Now, this area where Barry was staying, the Holiday Inn, was allegedly like a couple of miles, if that, from where the job was, where he was working. Also, right around the corner from some horse stables and a birds of prey, a birding, I guess, reservoir, a bird sanctuary or something. It is also by a pond, or a few ponds, some horse stables, and there's tractors, hay, etc., like the lady was saying with the visions or whatever. Now look, I'm not like a firm believer in all this, but I do believe in a lot of it. And I'm not even sure if the dogs or if anybody has searched this area or not, but I would for sure. Remember, she kept saying retaining wall? That is exactly the job that Barry and them were doing, was a retaining wall in this area. Fast forward to May 2021, the week of the 1-year anniversary of the disappearance of Suzanne. Her husband, Barry Morphew, was arrested for the murder of Suzanne Morphew. Now we're going to read a few articles together and then we're going to discuss. Suzanne's sister told Inside Edition she thought Barry Morphew was very dominant in the relationship and my sister was a very passive, gentle soul, quote unquote. While she didn't initially believe her brother-in-law could be behind her sister's disappearance, Mormon said she got a text message a few days before Suzanne Morphew disappeared that, retrospect, raised some concern. The Friday before Mother's Day, my sister had sent me a text message that morning. It was very lengthy. It was very powerful. It was very revealing, Mormon told the program. She had been ready to share some things close to her chest. She said she was scared. Barry Morphew made his first court appearance Thursday, charged with first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and attempt to influence a public official. He was ordered held without bail. Barry will be allowed to have contact with his two daughters, so as long as the communication is civil, said Chief Judge of the 11th Judicial District. Morphew is back in court May 27th at 4 p.m. Now, just this past February, Barry was spotted out and about with a mystery red-headed lady, much younger than him. Now, I don't know if this lady was around and knew Barry at the time of Suzanne's disappearance, but I find it strange if she didn't. And why did she choose to go out with a man whose wife is missing? Now, we know there's been cases in the past where the spouse of a person reported missing all of a sudden is spotted out and about with new people. I can't imagine. Allegedly, Barry and Suzanne's two daughters were at court last week and were seen mouthing "I love you" to their dad. Now, I have included a timeline, so if you want, you can pause, screenshot, pause and read, screenshot, read later, whatever you want to do. Keep in mind, Barry allegedly is still claiming he is innocent. As there are developments in the case, I will keep everybody updated. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my first of many true crime videos, and I'll see y'all in my next video.